You're listening to this episode on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. Hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. It would greatly benefit the show.
Out before. Oh, that's not what I want. You go in there, boy. Baby. I don't know. I said
It's gonna be the preview.
It's gonna be a preview of your butt.
Shake
Please
it.
put that in.
That.
Hold on. Don't wait till my cheeks are
Is your
clenched.
crack showing?
Wow. And we didn't have to vote on this. Get ass, not face.
Ass. Are you?
What is in here?
There's a lot of weed that way. And then
I'm trying to just get a beer.
take one of these bad
Oh,
boys.
there we go.
You don't need a cover. I found them, by the way.
Whoa.
What? Dead?
No, it's not dead. It's just all fogged up.
Oh.
Whoa, what? Wow, I'm that hot, huh?
Yeah.
I wonder what the hell.
Kirk steamed up the
It's
camera.
all.
Does he look like he's on some sort of 70s, like...
Looks like a fucking Easy Rider. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, on playback, we'll see when that happens.
When it fogs up. When it gets steamy.
That's weird, because it was like it looked great.
It's the first time it's having cameras.
You steamed up a camera?
Yeah.
Wait, we're still running on this camera.
Yeah.
You got all that you can use.
Fuck.
That stinks.
Is that a good sound?
No.
Probably not.
I
Is it showing up?
wiped fake blood off of it that was on it
When
from
did that happen?
the Molly, that short Molly that we did.
Molly, may I?
Yeah, we got blood all over the lens on purpose. I don't know, whatever.
Hello and welcome to Movie Baiters with the Farx brothers. I'm Kirk.
I'm Kyle.
Nick.
This is these spoilers for Send Help.
Okay, get into your nitpick first. I'm curious about
Start
what
the nitpick?
pick you want to knit.
Would send help.
With Bone Temple and Send Help. Just
Okay,
to be
well, I'll do
honest.
Bone Temple first.
Okay.
And
Spoilers for Bone
spoilers.
Temple.
It still
sorry.
doesn't, and it's not enough to make me dislike.
The Bone
I don't
Temple.
even think it makes me like it any less. I realize like, oh,
This is what I say to my wife. It's not that I love you less. It's just a nitpick. Yeah.
yeah.
My wife is like your Bone Temple.
Bone Temple, like I love Bone Temple, but the story kind of coasted on some coincidences.
Oh, the chief
Oh, right.
discovers
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ray finds
Kelson?
Kittredge.
Kelson.
Kelson, sorry.
Kelson.
and
Kelson,
they think that he's Satan,
Yes,
and they just happen to
they're Satan God.
and the whole thing is really just, I mean, you really just have the two storylines. I think that him at the Jimmies, Spike with the Jimmies, wanting to escape the Jimmies. Oh, conveniently, they're gonna go to a place where he knows someone,
And then Kelson and his
and then
like
Kelson is like trying to cure the huge dong alpha.
Yeah, that's why I said the world feels a little bit smaller because they go back right to Bone Temple.
I don't have a problem that these two things operate near each other and around the same time, and that we see different parts of the world in a small area. Same thing. What's your Send Help nitpick?
Okay, so if with Bone Temple, it's just like, oh, the plot was really pretty simple and like it was just a couple of conveniences that.
If it's
that-
randomness that helps the protagonist move the story forward, it's not good writing. If it's randomness that gives the protagonist new challenges, that's good story writing, is what I've always heard for it.
Yeah, and the choice that they make to, that's part of the issue is like, not only did she have to find Kelson out there,
She had to choose to believe it was God.
you needed
Satan God.
like Spike to fuck up. Like he fucked up during the skinning or whatever. He did something like
He didn't kill the
Oh no,
pregnant
that's right.
lady,
That's
yeah.
that.
He doesn't kill the pregnant lady hard
yeah,
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or ever.
He doesn't kill the pregnant lady.
So you
ever.
needed that, and you needed Jimmy Crystal to decide to.
Is Jimmy Crystal the red-haired
He's
lady?
no, he's
No,
the
he's the main guy.
one.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jimmy Crystal's the main one.
Sir Lord Jimmy Crystal
Okay.
to
Bone Temple.
ask old Nick or whatever. That's what he calls him, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
just a lot of things that had to happen that were out of Spike's control for them to start a journey toward. But, I still really like Bone Temple.
Yeah.
So Send Help, my issue, I started to, I really enjoyed Send Help, but as we're getting to the third act, I'm like,
Where's it going?
I just feel like they didn't. I wanted something a little more unexpected. Once they started going, I liked that they made a bold choice to like make her a villain about halfway through.
I didn't see her as a villain, but
Well,
go ahead.
she was taking advantage of. She was. Because if you're on an island and you're deliberately, and once we knew that she was deliberately like avoiding getting them help because she wanted to stay there, I thought that was interesting. But then I'm like, okay, well, I want to see where this goes. I want that to end up still in an unexpected. They're doing something unexpected halfway through with the characters. The characters have switched roles, and she's also not only has she gained like power over him, but she's also like now she's abusing the power by not getting flagging down help when she could have.
But we don't exactly. Well, okay, so we know that once she sees the boat and doesn't. That's what you're referring to.
Yeah,
Because we know it's revealed to us, and like, is it the end of the second act or is it in the third act? Oh, she's had a home she could go to this entire time, and as soon as she's had that knife, we should know. Oh, she's had access to modern conveniences on this deserted island that a billionaire happens to own.
I don't know. Like I knew there was going to be something with the knife. I just didn't. Did I really think she was getting it from a house? No, I thought I didn't think there was a house around whatever that X-shaped rock was. I just thought she didn't want him over there. I could tell she didn't want him over there, but I thought it was just because she'd maybe seen a boat or something, and because I think I forget if that was right after or right before we saw her see a boat. And didn't flag it down.
Because then she takes him up the cliff and tells him not to go to the
That
X
would make
part,
sense. That would make sense that she did that in response to seeing the boat. So that's all I thought it was. I thought it was just so that he wouldn't see a boat.
And the boat she saw was not the rescue boat that later comes with the fiance and guy.
Yeah, it's two different boats.
Oh, that's right. The boat, we find out later, the boat she sees first is the boat that's going to the house.
Yes.
Because then they go back to that, and then they show the rest of the scene. It's them walking stuff up the stairs. So that's clever. And also by giving a false reason for us to think why she wouldn't want him to go over there, which is that so that he won't see boats, then flag down. You stop thinking about it, or if you're me, you stop thinking about it.
No, I wasn't thinking about that because I was more into like okay, he's so over her and like we're immediately against him from the jump and immediately on her side. She does all the work. He's an asshole who's nepotism and picking the wrong person.
Yeah.
Boom. But then immediate flip after exciting incident, plane crash. Very cool. And the plane crash was awesome.
Yeah, I think that was great.
I wish it had gone on a little longer, but
You wanted the plane crash to crash longer. You wanted the plane to crash slower so that you could experience the plane crash longer.
I just do more with the plane.
Yeah, or the
before it
killing,
crashes.
or the people dying on the plane.
More people died on the
Yeah.
plane.
That was shorter than even like if you go back and watch Final Destination, that plane crash doesn't take that long. But I think that's even longer than what was in Send Help.
It feels longer or it is longer?
I think it is longer than Send Help. I think so.
But
Even though it's not that long, like you might remember it being longer than it actually is. You go back and watch it, and it's not that long. But
it has more impact because there's more characters.
in fact, it's probably the shortest opening premonition of any of the Final Destination movies.
Probably is because Final Destination 1's like under 100 minutes, I think. But I was going to say the reason why it feels longer in retrospect is because they kill more people. Whereas they're killing less people here. So really what you want is more people. You want more red shirts to die.
I guess.
Star Trek has a term, red shirts, for people that die when they first get to the planet.
Yeah.
And you just want more like business bros to die.
Yeah, because only two of them die brutally. Like the Asian guy, he just flies out the window.
Yeah.
I'm glad the
then-
person of color did not get an
gruesome death.
more gruesome death than the white guys.
Yeah, and then the white guy
Whatever
is
I'm
trying to hold
supposed to
on
say.
to Rachel McAdams, but goes out the plane.
And then his tie
His
gets
tie
stuck.
gets stuck, yeah.
And then he's bouncing against the plane. That
Which I
was
thought that
so.
was
And then
great,
she shuts
yeah.
the window. It's hilarious. And it told
Which,
us a lot
yeah.
about her as a character. Like she's willing to be inhumane in these little ways, and like
Yeah.
fuck that guy every now and again.
No, is that inhumane or is that I just want to watch someone die? I think it's just I don't want to watch someone die.
We had been given the impression of a character that possibly is more caring,
Mm-hmm.
but it shows us that she's willing to take care of herself over
In
this
a
person.
life or
that,
death situation, yeah.
you
She's
know,
gonna
and
save
he
herself.
did try to kill her. So
Yeah, give me your seatbelt.
yeah, that's fuck that guy. It was funny to watch him die because he was all bad in this fake movie that's not real.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're going into this, you kind of know what you kind of know that the movie is about the flipping of the power structure.
Yeah.
And once that happens, then you're kind of wondering, at least me, like, oh, this could go somewhere interesting, but it's always, it's more satisfying if they end up different somehow and like more, not just different, but like somehow on like opposing sides of where they were. Or like meeting in the middle is kind of like, if you're not going to go super extreme with like a character arc, I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is like once they made her more of a villain by actually wanting to keep them on the island, and then furthermore they doubled down when the fiance shows up. Then I'm like, well, okay, well now this makes me really wonder where they could go with this. That's interesting and not expected, because I want them to surprise me. Not like with a huge twist, but just like don't do the most obvious thing. That's all.
It did, and you don't think it did the most obvious thing?
No, I think it kind of did. Once it took that turn, it did. And I was.
Should he have kissed her in the cave?
Well, see, that's another thing. Like they had these plot threads that didn't go anywhere, like an attraction between them.
I see that
Was
as
it,
all
though?
a sub level of the power dynamic, because if she becomes attracted to him, that could shift them back to be, because there's equilibrium as you described, and then there's one over the other, and that shift, and like he does get one over on her later when he poisons her, and then he has to get the CPR because he does something to himself, and then she vomits on him.
Oh, because he tries to escape with the raft.
With his
poorly
fucking
made
shitty
raft.
raft.
Yeah, and then
That he makes.
chokes. That's right.
Yeah, he essentially drowns and washes back up on shore on the island.
And that's why she does the CPR, but has to puke out the poison he didn't.
Technically,
give her
I don't
enough
think she does any CPR. I think she just throws up on him, doesn't she? She
Yeah, I don't
drags
think she
him
ever
out.
got
Yeah,
as
and
far as like.
she just throws up on him a bunch of times.
of. Well, maybe if someone's drowning in salt water.
But like, you see what I'm saying? Like, they start as adversaries, right?
And then they kind of become not adversaries. They kind of are in league with one another. But the power structure has flipped, and then you realize she's abusing her power. And then I'm thinking, okay, we've gone from where we started. Now we're here. Like, what's the trajectory from here? And I feel like I want another turn before the end that I'm not expecting, but I didn't get another turn.
I want to ask you a question because I'm not sure if I agree with you. So we agree he's above her.
First, yeah.
At first. And then plane crash. And then it becomes pretty clear to the audience she's above him. It takes him a while to catch up.
Yeah.
But then it does seemingly get to equilibrium because they're working together once he understands, and she's willing to get back to that.
Yeah.
But then he tries to get one over on her, and then she ultimately gets back over him. Well, I guess, we find out that she isn't going for help when she could.
Yeah.
And then he tries to kill her, right?
Yeah.
So there's like she's worse than he is again, and
Yeah.
Yeah, and then she tries to cut off his dick as
That
retaliation.
makes him think.
Yeah.
that was hilarious.
I would have wanted it to be an actual dick cutting off. I mean, that would have been great. But I get for the story why it wasn't real. They just cut a rat, sure.
It was very, very entertaining, and
Yeah.
I don't think I wanted her to cut. I never want anyone's dick to be cut. I never want to wish that on anyone.
Yeah,
Even
but
a
I think
fictional
I
character.
would have. I don't know. I think it would have been unexpected at the very least, because I kind of figured she's not gonna do it. She's not cutting off his dick. It's obviously something else.
Yeah,
It was that scene was very unexpected, and
Yeah.
it did given the earlier romance. Is there a romance? Isn't there a romance? I think that's just kind of the audience brings that when they're like sharing a meal together, and they're two single,
Well, she was
opposite
staring
sexes.
at his ass though when he was washing him. It was like
yeah.
she was clearly getting like hot watching
Or
his
were
ass.
you staring at his ass?
I mean, it's a nice ass. It's fine enough.
Dylan O'Brien.
Mine's
You know,
a little better.
You think your ass is better than Dylan O'Brien's
Maybe a
ass?
little bit. Maybe a little bit.
Do you know that man was injured filming one of the Maze Runner movies? Then he came back after being injured in a vehicle stunt.
Came back
Oh, I
in
did not
the
know
same
Dylan
movie.
O'Brien.
Or in a
No,
different
like
movie?
in real life, he got
Oh.
injured real bad, and then they had to like put production on hold for months.
Oh.
And then I think they came back and finished it, but it was like no bueno.
No way.
And it was
Well, it's fucking Maze Runner. Of course, it's no bueno.
I haven't seen any of them.
Neither am I.
Because like theoretically, that's what makes that guy famous, right?
Teen Wolf.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
was
Teen
No,
Wolf.
Teen Wolf's after Maze Runner, isn't it?
have
Teen
no
Wolf was
clue.
like 2011
Oh,
or something. I don't know when Maze
okay.
Runner was because it's Maze Runner.
Sure, but Teen Wolf is Teen Wolf, and that was on like MTV or something. It was like,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You
yeah,
watched
was.
it though.
No, I didn't like watch it, but I knew of it.
Okay. I'm trying to think what else. He was in Twinless this year. I know that's a thing.
Is
Did
that
you
any
see
good?
it?
No. It's
I
a
watched,
movie, right? Not a TV show.
Yeah, I watched 10, 20 minutes of it, and I switched over to Bob Trevino because that's on Movie Man T's top 10, and Twinless isn't, but Twinless is on other people's top 10.
Yeah.
Dylan O'Brien seems cool. He was funny on Curb Your Enthusiasm once.
I don't remember him being on there.
A later season episode.
I saw the whole series.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I
Yeah.
will, because it's his band, and then he's thinking about working with Larry to play young Larry in the final season
Oh,
of it.
okay.
Boom, got it on both of you.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
Okay, we can go one of two ways: villain or McAdams as like not the right person, even though she's good in the movie and the movie's good.
Wait,
and
so you're
she's
saying
good in the movie.
she should have been casted in the movie or miscast?
Well, like she's not frumpy, and she
Define
like how
frumpy.
could this woman be like that? Like
Uh-huh.
there's always that little bit of like, oh, the dude takes her glasses off and she's all that, and like, oh, you
Yeah.
were actually beautiful the whole time, and it's like, man, oh, she's wearing a sweater, or oh, she's
Yeah.
not.
I mean,
I know
hold
it's-
on, hold
I know
on.
it's a
Let's
movie.
get this out of the way. Are you relating frumpy to weight, or are you relating frumpy
I am not
to,
relating frumpy to weight.
to clothes that they wear?
I think it can be a variety of
Mm-hmm.
things. She's still, and like she's movie star pretty. She's
Yeah.
a star, and God bless her. And I think she's an interesting star because she does comedy, she does the Oscar-winning movies,
Yeah.
she does the romances, she does this.
But
I
let's-
like her. And she
Let's
does
be
the-
realistic about. It's a Hollywood movie. They're not going to cast a quote-unquote ugly person or less than attractive person
I
to
was-
play this character, right?
You asked me who I would have cast instead of Rachel
Yeah.
McAdams. If it was me making a movie where it's that character, I would cast Robbie Hoffman. Have Robbie do the exact same things.
Robbie Hoffman?
She, because she's, I think,
I don't think I've seen her in any.
she was on
Actually.
Hacks, and then she has a special on Netflix. She's been
Uh-huh.
interviewed on several shows. Like she's a stand-up, West Coast based, and I don't know. Like she's really funny, and she could do all the power dynamic stuff. But I believe, like, oh yeah, she'd be the one in the office that people like have for 15, 20 years just abuse their willingness to work really hard, and then got promised a promotion and then screwed out of it.
Yeah.
I don't know, just as an example of what I mean. And I don't think like just because if you knew what Robbie, people listening
yeah, I
to
have
this
no
may
idea what she
Google
looks like.
Robbie
Yeah.
Hoffman right now and go, oh, this comedian would be very funny. And again, Rachel McAdams is good in the movie. The movie is good. She's good in the movie. I just think there's this like, yeah, it's not really. I don't buy that person was that character for what we are led to believe.
If she would, given her attractiveness, she would be that kind of person to be awkward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just in cunning too. Like I guess there's that little bit of it, and if there was just like this other thing that I could go, oh yeah,
Did you guys believe that she actually had a husband? I didn't believe it.
Oh,
when
you
she-
didn't believe her backstory at the
No,
campfire?
I didn't believe it at all. I think she was just trying to up one him so that she
One up him.
Yeah, it seemed relatable. I didn't.
You don't
that.
believe it? Did you believe it?
I believe that she had a husband. I don't know if he.
Died in a car accident.
Yeah, like
Did she
yeah,
kill him?
maybe. Yeah, it seems like
Maybe.
she might have.
No, she put the keys and no, she poured him his last drink and gave him the keys. So,
Well, that's what,
indirectly.
yeah, that's what she said.
more or less. Yeah.
if he wasn't like, did she say he was abusive? She implies he's
Yeah.
abusive, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know. Like, I don't hold it against any, especially a battered woman.
Yeah, I
She-
don't. I don't. That doesn't affect my like or dislike, or it's not really part of my nitpick with it.
I guess it does give me. It does. It's a good counter to what I was just saying about. Oh, come on, Rachel McAdams. She's like a princess. You can't buy that. So that's a good counter to. She's had this awful thing happen in her past that affects her character, and I did buy it when she told me, and had been putting on this front for
Wait,
years at
so
work.
would that like explain why she's a lot more awkward than she's?
Oh yeah,
This
I
horrible
would
event?
imagine
Oh.
that kind of abuse would lead
Huh.
to.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then the insecurity in that could be taken advantage of in a corporate structure.
Yeah.
And it seemed like it was a family business where just like the son gets
Yeah.
named after the. And there's a lot of family businesses out there. There's successful ones in the upper Midwest, and I would never want to disparage them. I've had
All right.
the person who's playing the character may or may not have had interactions with these types of organizations in the past. So yeah, I figured
Minnesota
out.
specifically?
Well, yeah, as an example of the
Oh.
upper Midwest, sure. I'm just saying.
Wow.
I'm not
okay.
being
I have to
specific.
look that up because I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, I'm just saying there's like a Honestly, in America, I think we'd rather wish that there were family-owned businesses over the large corporations that are
Sure.
even more impersonal and extract all the value out of a thing before basically tossing it out of an airplane to Taiwan, or was it Thailand?
I think it
They
was
were in
Thailand. They go
right?
Bangkok. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thailand.
like they were willing to like inconvenience her and try to take her all of her work product and then just get rid of her.
Yeah, but
so.
to be fair, I don't think they expected her to come. That's why they were so surprised when she showed up at the plane.
Another reason I don't think she's the villain. I think she you're saying she's a villain because she acted villainous, correct?
Yeah. Once we knew that she was, well, they're leading you to that when she doesn't flag down the boat. But I still think, she's not beyond redemption yet. I think so. I'm curious to see what the next turn is. Well, the next turn is that they just double down on it, where she basically she leads the fiance and the other guy to basically die on purpose, and then that I think makes her a villain at that point. I don't, but still,
I think killing the guy from the boat is the worst one. I would argue the fiance is complicit in the evil of a man that was willing to kill her. So
She barely knew her though.
no.
The
I don't-
fiance barely
like-
knew the guy.
I
Knew
don't
Rachel
want to try to
McAdams.
justify her like clear murder of these two people too much. I'm just saying I think the guy who is just like, hey, that he's just there because this is his job. Like killing that guy is worse than killing the lady who's willing to overlook all of these things about Dylan O'Brien's character that make him the biggest piece
Yeah,
of shit.
but okay,
Where,
I'm not gonna. It's hard because I don't know how much the fiance knows Dylan O'Brien's character in that office. Be an
ignorance is
asshole.
not an excuse for breaking, the code.
It's not, but there's ignorance and then there's blatantly ignoring
being
it.
complicit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, like,
if
she
you know
does-
he's doing terrible things. You're obviously gonna say
Oh,
something.
okay. Here's why she deserves it. Is because that scene at the beginning where he is an absolute monster to her
Mm-hmm.
verbally. Her being Rachel McAdams. Dylan O'Brien says something like,
Oh, about the
you
tuna."
frumpy woman. What?
About the tuna fish? Don't bring in tuna.
Oh, yeah. He, dresses her down for having tuna fish sandwiches at her
Mm. Yeah.
desk or something.
Yeah.
And then the fiance agrees with it. You can you can let her trip off of a cliff, I guess. I don't know. You know, but the fisherman, the guy with the boat, he doesn't deserve it. I want to argue for him. He's just a working. I want to argue for the blue collar guy over the white collar lady.
Yeah, but that's the thing. She still let him die. So
She shouldn't have done that.
So I'm saying you're just agreeing with my points that she became a villain.
Well, okay, let me ask you
I
guys
think she's
this.
broken, and I still think she's the hero of the piece.
Well, here's the way you could look at it, but I'm not going to say the movie was saying this message, but I'm like, well, it could be making a statement about how it turns you in, like it's if you can't beat them, join them sort of thing, where the system turns people into monsters.
Looking at the world and power dynamics makes somebody on top and someone below,
and then like being in that situation could make you do things where if you're not careful, you become the monster you're trying to beat.
She becomes the monster at the end though, because she wins. She's playing golf and she's like
that's what I'm saying. That's the one read I could get from the whole movie, but it still doesn't. And that would I guess make it less of a crime in my mind that there wasn't like another less obvious turn after she became the villain. Because I'm like, well, this movie started off pretty lighthearted. I think there's going to be one more turn. I don't think they're going to leave her in villain mode. She's going to still have like a redemption arc. I feel like they've both tasted like each other's worlds, right? And then they're going to come back.
The worlds being the powerful and the powerless.
Yeah, they're the positions. Okay. And but they're going to come back from it, and she went a little too far into the deep end. They're going to come back and, like, you know, if they were adversaries at the start and they're still adversaries at the end, that's like, it doesn't feel like it. It feels like you just went in a big circle. So I was wanting one more turn that I wasn't expecting, as far as how things would shake out once it became clear that she was as much of a villain as she appeared to be after the fiance thing.
I only want to argue with one point of what you said, is that being at the same place at the end. Story Circle would argue that that's possible, like that you end up in the same place. You know, you end up back at the Shire at the end of Lord of the Rings kind of thing. So they're villains at the beginning, that they're adversaries at the beginning. They go for this. He's on top, she's on top, he's on top, she's on top, and then they're still at the end, and then ultimately she wins.
Yeah, but he doesn't go on top again. If you're going back to the beginning,
he starts on top and he tries to kill her.
He would still be on. He would become on top again at the end, wouldn't he?
Well, and I guess the third would be the third act fight, which I thought was a little dumb because it's a guy fighting a woman. So it's like, well, fuck you, dude. Like, I want the woman to win when it's a guy fighting a lady. Like, fuck, you know, it's there's no version of that where I want the guy to win. You know what I mean? Unless she's like, I don't know, but if Superman has superpowers.
If your argument is to complete the arc, technically, the ending should have been he wins. So that he's now on top of her like he was at the beginning of the movie,
No,
right?
because we're rooting for her throughout, and I think what Sam Raimi likes to do is get us to root for, well, if you look at Drag Me to Hell and this, women that, you know, make a choice to do things that we, you know, a broad swath of society would say, that's wrong. Don't kill the guy that brought her over on the boat. That's wrong. Don't agree to damn someone to hell as she's willing to almost do in Drag Me to Hell. And then...
Yeah, but my argument would be that Rachel McAdams' character doesn't do anything that would guarantee her position. I think more or less...
Guarantee your position how?
If they were back to society, do you think he would have given her that job? Even if they went back?
No, like, and that's why she has to... Like, there's no incentive for her to send for help because she's the help to him, and now he, you know, because she's helping him, she has the power, and she needs to like. That's
another thing I don't buy. I don't get why she decides to go back at all. I mean, she seems so happy to be on this island, but then immediately after killing him, we assume she gets rescued, and then she uses that to her advantage so that she could be successful. So why?
Well, because we already knew she was good at the work because they
Yeah.
wanted to steal her work. So it would be weird if her life's work had led to now she's on an island versus, because she's had this change in her, life experience where she went to this island, killed her fought her boss, saved her boss, took care of her boss. He tried to kill her again. She then, had to ultimately fight and kill him.
Yeah, but if you're so happy on this island, what makes her go back?
I think what she was happy about is she got to
Being
do a
with him?
Survivor. Because we know
right.
she's into Survivor. You don't
Sure.
go to Survivor going, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. I just want to win the game of Survivor, which in a sense she does do.
So if Dylan's character never fights back, eventually she would have been okay with them being rescued.
Yeah. Once, she was...
How long would that take it?
Well, once he was appropriately indebted to her. But, let's remember, she nursed him back to health. He wasn't grateful. He tried to kill her.
Yeah.
And then, she cut off his penis almost, and then they still had a big fight at the end. We haven't talked about the boar fight at all. I feel bad. I don't know if there's anything to debate, but I thought it was just the best.
We talked about a bit after the showing. You didn't like that it was a lot of CGI, right? For the
Oh,
boar.
with the boar fight?
It looked terrible.
I thought it was just entertaining as fuck, so who cared?
It was entertaining.
It takes me out of it.
I didn't like the whole snot coming out of the boar as it was being killed, and then it woke back up, and then more blood and more snot.
So you
all
don't
right.
like that there was CGI action, and then it was clearly like a real boar. It was like a real puppet at some points, right?
It never looked like a real
I
puppet.
don't think
Okay,
it
it was
ever was.
CGI the whole time. You
Yeah.
think?
Yeah, that's why I didn't like it. I mean, it was bad CGI.
I'd have to look at it again because I don't know that I can really argue. Oh, that was great CGI. I didn't care, and I guess to some this sounds bad, but because it's not $100 million movie, I don't expect the CGI to look
It's not
perfect.
$100 million movie.
No,
How
it's
much
like a
is it?
$40 million movie.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, so it's two
Surprising.
people on an island.
Yeah, but I guess I don't know how
they
much
don't make
CGI
these types
costs.
of movies,
Yeah.
original movies that are mid-budget with stars selling it and a auteur director. I'm glad that this was made. That's why we're talking about this movie, and because of the other reason.
I don't know. Is this a movie that's being sold by the stars? Maybe Rachel McAdams, but not Dylan O'Brien.
He appeals to a younger demographic that we're not really a part of because of the Gen Z thing.
Sure. Maybe because of all that Maze Runner stuff. And what did you say, Teen Wolf?
Teen Wolf.
Yeah.
Well, any last thoughts before we wrap up here?
Score was okay. Plane crash, boar. You didn't like the boar.
No.
But weren't you having fun?
I was
in that
having
scene?
fun.
Okay.
The boar took me out of it momentarily. But it was quick to get back into it. I just would have liked if it hadn't been so... in a movie that starts to feel like you're expecting more twists in terms of their changing relationship. So I expected there to be... the turn of her becoming a villain came soon enough. I mean, it was well into the second act, but still soon enough where I'm like, well, there's going to be another turn that takes us into the climax.
Of a
And-
redemption arc.
It doesn't have to be a redemption
Okay.
arc. Just show me some other, what's the next way that their relationship could change?
Oh.
Either because one of them is changing, she's the one who seems to be changing. She's becoming more of a, and it's you could say that he was becoming a little more sympathetic, so he's changing too, maybe. But either way, at least one of them changes, and that changes their relationship. And I was thinking something would happen where they end up back on each other's side again, because it seemed like more of a, it's you want to strike the balance between you don't want it to be super expected, the most obvious thing. You want it to not be obvious, but still be in the realm of what kind of makes sense and gels with. Because if you go totally out into left field, then it just feels like a movie can feel like it's breaking into a separate movie. Because if it's
putting
playing-
another survivor on the island that he just appeared, though he hasn't been in it the entire time, but he is on the island and he finds these other two people. Would that have been too much of an expected?
Let's try and solve their problem, and
Yeah.
I don't think we should, because my counter to Nick is simply that the turn you're looking for is that she remade herself off the island. It's just you only find that out in the last scene, But
Yeah.
maybe like, I think if you went into it with or come out of it with the interpretation you have of power corrupts, ultimate power corrupts ultimately.
But Nick doesn't see that as a turn, though.
Nick
Yeah.
doesn't
Would
see
you not
her
see?
Yeah, I
her
feel
going
like
back off the
change
island.
off
yeah.
the island. Like
Yeah,
her
well,
being off the island is a change.
It's
and
not-
then how she is in society has
Yeah.
changed.
It's not that. It's like I wanted their relationship to change one more time. It felt like, okay, she's a villain now. It's. I feel like it's in the middle of Act 2B when she full on becomes villain by letting the fiance and the boat guy die.
When you say villain, you don't mean antagonist, I assume. She's always the protagonist, and he's like, we could argue.
I know she's the protagonist, but like she's also the villain.
Is this movie? Is it man against man in that it's them against each other? I would argue somewhat, or is it man versus nature or God, or is it man versus self? Because I feel like it's not the her versus herself argument of this isn't maybe as interesting, other than us evaluating her arc.
Well, I
or
say
the twists.
villain, like she's obviously the one. She's no longer on the moral high ground once she does that.
Yeah. She doesn't want to leave. She threatens him. She paralyzes him. She
And
kills the fiance.
So she's definitely abusing her power, and she's abusing it at that point, like more than he was abusing his power when he was her boss. So that's what I say. Well, that's what I mean when I say villain. So
that she's a worse person than he is, even though he seems like more of a dick throughout the thing.
yeah.
I can understand that argument. I don't have a strong one against it, but and you haven't seen Blink Twice.
No.
You've seen Blink Twice, and you see the obvious parallels between this movie and Blink Twice.
Yeah, but I think in Blink Twice, you root for the protagonist to win. I don't know if I'm rooting for Rachel McAdams to win in this scenario.
She's been abused in a much different way.
abused.
To speak obliquely about the other one.
Okay, let's talk about abuse. Like, she's talked down upon. She's like ridiculed. She's not handed her promotion.
And they were
deservedly.
willing to kill her. And they were going to fire her. Like,
Wait,
Kill
who's
her,
gonna
kill
kill
her
her?
thing
kill
is
her
worse.
during the plane crash.
Yeah, they're willing to, like, okay, my life is,
Well, that was
Yep.
one guy.
Yeah, that was one guy.
sure. He
And that's a
represents,
life
I
or
see
death
them all as kind of
situation. I
representing
mean,
the same thing at that point, but that's a good counter.
I don't know.
sorry.
Do you give people leeway for a life and death situation? Everybody goes into
Do
survival
I
mode.
give people leeway for...
We're all trying to survive in a life or death situation. I want to come out on top, and we're all gonna die here.
In the
Like,
Titanic, there's the brave people who,
Yeah.
like, pull the other people. No, you're men, women, and children first, you know.
yeah. I don't know.
It's fair to be like, no, you're not going to be like, okay, I will let myself die. But
Yeah.
the way he did it was bad, and I felt it represented the thing, which capitalism is evil.
Mm-hmm.
These people represent capitalism. Is an interpretation that I'm sure some of our Marxist guests would appreciate.
Here's a way to say it. So there was momentum for change between their relationship because it had been a pretty regular, changes had come pretty regularly up until the point where she is solidified as like the villain. Because, you know, there was like, they're switching places. There's a lot of they both, he poisons her and then she does the, you know, it's
Castration.
Of the fake castration. So when dynamics are changing like that pretty quickly, and then she's the villain now, I'm expecting more changes. I'm like, okay, there's this much left of the movie. There's like a third of the movie left. The rate we've been going with changes and their dynamics is this for the first 2/3. I'm expecting with knowing roughly how much of the movie is left, I'm expecting one more turn that's going to change their dynamic, but it didn't. It just kind of stayed the same. Oh, she's the villain now, and now they're gonna fight, and she's gonna win because she has to. She's supposed to win.
Here's the counter: is that the retrospective turn reorients all the other turns. So because we get some space between the turns you described, space turn that retroactively changes all turns. She's now, as you call her, the villain, but she has to win. And then she becomes the ultimate villain by succeeding in the corporate world, post being on the island.
You're asking me something?
I'm saying, do you agree with that interpretation of, like, I'm trying to, like, extrapolate what you're saying through the rest of the movie.
I mean, I felt like it was going to, it felt like we were due for one more change that would lead us into the climax rather than just
the retroactive change.
Yeah, well, because that's like finding out, like it's a twist, finding out there was a house there the whole time, but it's not another change in their character dynamic. They're already.
It changes the lens by which we viewed everything from when we saw her go, and then everything from that she had more power.
All it actually does is make her more of a villain, though, because there was a house there.
Yeah.
You could have gone and stayed at the house.
I disagree. I'm going to counter on villain, and I'm not trying to belabor this. I actually just feel this way strongly, is that she has nothing to gain by getting him off the island, and she needs to like figure shit out, and she gets to kind of live her survivor fantasy. And after, like, this guy specifically was an asshole to her.
Yeah, but that could be her own choice to stay on the island, but why force him to stay there? He doesn't want to be on the island.
And then after he dies, where she kills him, and then she wants
she has to extract the most out of this. She has to extract the most out of the situation, just as they were willing to try and extract the most out of her. She is only. It's a yin yang of just, hey, we were willing to, force as much out of you as we could before we got rid of you after not giving you the promotion and insulting you, like on a personal level for your eating lunch.
Yeah, but then make sure that he doesn't die, and you prove it to the world, more or less, that you are better than this guy who we were both stuck on this island, and suddenly you needed me. Because it doesn't match with the corporate side, because they were never sure they were going to affect her livelihood. She wasn't going to make a lot of more money, but she was never in danger of dying. Right? They were making fun of her. They were dressing her down, but it doesn't equate.
Sure, they were willing to immiserate her, which is a form of death by 1,000 cuts. So
I could buy that. Maybe she didn't like have a long-term plan. She was just enjoying it and like playing it by ear. But that still doesn't change. Yeah.
And that's like not exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying she did have a long-term plan, and it's just that she's evaluating that there was not enough benefit.
But we don't know.
Either one. I want to defend her not being a villain because I like her.
Well, I liked her until she became a villain. Like
you're
at the same time, I also wouldn't have been happy if it had just been. The bottom line is just the ending is just too kind of formulaic. It's a fight. Yeah. Like it was doing more interesting things. It was doing more interesting things up until, if you want to call it, if you split Act 2 into Act 2A, 2B, right into like the middle of Act 2B, it's doing interesting things. So I'm expecting at least one more interesting thing rather than just the same old fight we've always seen in movies.
I mean, the fight was kind of like prissy dude versus frumpy chick. But the fight is worth it for just the beat of getting the thumb in the eye.
Well, yeah.
And then I actually thought he was gonna win. Yeah. Like I was like, how dark is this movie gonna go? Because he was willing to kill the main character in drag. Not only kill her, drag her to fucking hell.
Yes,
so it's Sam Raimi, and there's always this low stakes corporate shit plus just like life and death and possibly. And what was with the fucking spirit in her flashback? Like the scary, like why?
I just scared.
Yeah.
It
was just the zombie version of the fiance reaching because it was real like Evil Dead in that moment. Don't forget, guys.
Yeah, but her guilt is so. It also speaks to her character because she doesn't feel guilty about killing the other guy, the boat guy, but she feels guilty about killing the fiance.
Well, obviously, she's a real person.
Yeah, but if I had
disgusting. No, but I don't feel that way.
If I have just killed two people, I would be guilty about both of them, not just one of them over the other, right?
He said it on camera.
I mean,
I'm just like.
Well, then maybe that's the thing. Maybe the movie, the movie's mistake for me was making her a villain, and I didn't really care for. Like, I guess the thing I appreciated and why I expected more was like, oh, it's making me question who I'm rooting for, because I don't want him to succeed and just like poison her and kill her either.
Yeah.
So I was glad. I was at that point still liking the movie because I'm thinking we have one more turn in store for us, but it had already reached a plateau and I didn't know we were already at the plateau. Like the elevator dings when you get to the floor. If it doesn't ding, you think you're still on the way there. You think you're still traveling. And the elevator didn't ding, so I thought we were still going somewhere else with it, and we never went anywhere else with it. It was just like, oh, we're gonna fight now. They do the fight in the forest or whatever when the eye gouge happens, and then there's a break in the fight, and like, oh, now something else is going to happen that changes it again, but it's just more fight.
Yeah.
It was just more fight.
I wanted something more interesting because of the momentum they had. In the first half, in the first 2/3, or even 3/4 of the movie, I thought about like, why do I not care that Misery? Because there's obviously comparisons to Misery.
Yeah.
Why do I not care that Misery ends with the fight that you know is going to happen from the whole time? Because that movie is playing a totally different set of cards. Misery is playing how is he going to escape? It's a very clear who the villain is, and who's the good guy, who's the bad guy. It's very clear. So now it's just about who is someone going to save him? Is the sheriff gonna rescue him, or is he gonna figure out how to? That's the whole game, and having his attempts foiled. Like, you know, when he tries to poison, or I don't know if he's just trying to knock her out or kill her with the drug and the wine.
You haven't seen Begonia, right?
I have not. No.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
But
I didn't
Great
say
movie.
anything. I was just like,
that's
but
great movie.
That's also in this like conversation, but we can't speak.
Well,
on
it's like you get a movie kind of like without saying it on the nose. Hopefully, like sort of tells you like what the game is in the first act. It tells you we're here.
Sets up the game.
This is what this movie is going to be. That movie, Misery, is like, how's he going to get out? So you're waiting for that.
Is that Rob Reiner?
It was Rob Reiner, yeah.
Fucking A.
You're just waiting for that fight. You'd be disappointed if that fight doesn't happen. With Send Help, it's subverting. I think it's making such a big deal out of subverting expectations that I was expecting more subversion of more expectations, and I was like waiting for one more that didn't happen. And then when that fight did happen, I mean, because it ends so abruptly, it just does a time jump. Even once I kind of knew, okay, this is how the movie's ending with this fight. And even then it still felt abrupt because of the way they edited it. So
yeah,
like
his
boom,
eye
she's
becomes a
on a golf
ball.
course.
Yeah.
I think being able to talk about Misery, Begonia, and Blink Twice, like you and I have seen all those movies.
Yeah.
So there's two in there you've not seen, but
She's an alien, isn't she?
who?
You cannot
Fucking
say.
Emma fucking Stone.
Fucking Emma fucking Stone. Is this your way of telling us we're continue? I don't have any more bait topics. That was
Oh,
pretty
all
good.
right. So we ran through it all. Well, I think that's great.
Wait, did you hit the Zenith? Did we?
Yeah, I
hit the,
think we did, because I don't think you could come up with any more counterpoints to Nick. You're not gonna convince him that she's not a villain.
Well, like, okay, here's.
Well, you
shake
can
your
convince
ass
me
again.
you have a different definition of villain than I
Well,
do.
Yeah.
part of it is that I feel like it's funny because the Farxlings right now are talking about shaking their booty a lot. That's the funny thing they say. Shake your booty, shake your booty. And I've been playing Shake Your Groove thing for them. And the reason I'm bringing them up is because the way you say villain is like, Dad, who's the bad guy? And it's like, who's the... I want to see who gets off the island. You know what I mean? I didn't expect this fight to happen this way, although now that you've kind of made me think about it, they were building to a fight because it's Misery. They were building to a fight because it's Begonia.
Yeah.
They were building to a fight because it's Send Help, you know? Or not Send, Blink Twice. Like in all of those, the thing we're describing happens, and it's between a man and a woman, and it's
Well, except I think the difference with Send Help, and I can't compare it to Begonia, but I can imagine Begonia being way more similar to Misery than Send Help.
Yes. But there's also the dynamic. There's the power dynamic thing that is also played with very specifically.
Yeah, but I think as soon as like you're having characters, like to me the natural, I don't know,
outcome,
like a fight, just a fight between the two of them, just seemed like it was going to be the easy way to go. Too much the easy way to go. Especially when they're doing so much other stuff leading up to that, that is making you question, like, who to root for. Like, because even though I didn't want to root for her anymore, I didn't want to root for him either, which I didn't mind.
So
because I'm just interested in the story. I don't need. It's like Game of Thrones. I'm not rooting for anyone. I just want to know what's going to happen.
But that made me interested. Like, what are they going to do next? It still kept building like expectation for another turn. Because like now that they've made me not root for either one of them, you would kind of think that there's going to be some other turn that will make you root for one of them again. And
that's why.
So I kind of thought maybe
we've got to suggest Begonia to a guest coming up so that we can talk about Begonia.
Begonia?
Yeah, just because
I know that's kind of.
Well, because
is it a hard movie to sell for people?
So there's also like the sex politics of like men versus women, and it's like I'm just kind of conditioned not to root against women. Yeah, but it never comes up. Even when she does the murders of people and the things, it's like, I don't know. For whatever reason, I want to be lighter on her because...
She's a woman?
Yeah. And it's like, in Begonia, it's like, oh, they've captured a woman, even though it's a rich woman, you know.
Yeah, okay.
And then, but that power dynamic is played with as well, the socioeconomics of it, which is also being played in this, but in a different way in Begonia, so...
Yeah, sure, but we never know who's... Sure, he's the CEO, she's working in strategy, and she's probably not making as much money as CEO, but they are still making...
Do it, and I'm going to get us demonetized after that. So, and then the Epstein of all the blink twice, like that sex politics of... And I'm saying sex instead of gender because I'm wokey, but... the sex politics of all of these situations, and in Misery, she's an immiserated person. All she has to look forward to is these guys' books, and she did this shitty thing.
Yeah, but here's my argument. Here's my argument then. She, in Misery, she would never let the author go. He will have to write for the rest of his life in that bedroom. Well, I still don't get why she leaves the island if she's so happy.
It's because because Survivor is like a beginning and ending thing. That's like I'm very committed to that being.
Then in the story, make her struggle with the idea like I don't want to be here all the time. Sure, I don't want to be here forever.
The reason we don't see her internal debate is because then we'd have to be questioning why we don't see the bigger internal debate of, well, I'm not telling this guy about the house that will get us out of here.
Yeah, that's why I don't buy her going back to civilization. She should still be on that goddamn island. She would never leave.
If it was about power, she was I bet she didn't plan on like killing him.
No,
right? Yeah. She just was going to draw it out as long as possible,
and wait for the most.
Once she had to kill him, once it came to the fight that I thought was too obvious.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then she had no reason left to stay on the island once it was just her.
So you agree with her getting off the island. You disagree with her getting off the island.
What do you mean agree with? Like I think that she should have, or
the idea that it makes sense that the next step for her character it was narratively interesting for sure. No, that's a little weak way to describe it, but that she went back to civilian life and used the skills from both her previous life and her new life after being on the island to conquer the corporate world and become the thing that she was evil to her at the beginning.
Here's what I think they did. Here's what I would bet the motivation was in writing it that way, or whoever made the final decision to have that be the ending. Like, if you like, forget about her becoming the bad, like the immoral one, right? And you do think about how would you maybe want that movie to end? Just if you've only just seen the first act and a little bit into the second act, how do you think it? Like, you don't want it to be exactly what you think, but there's still like a window. There's still a range.
I want it to be the same but different.
There's still a range. Yeah. I want it to be
the Overton window of what will be the same but different, and I like.
I want it to be not exactly what I'm expecting, because that's boring and that's what I'm complaining about. I wasn't like expecting. I was expecting more, but I'm saying, like, if I was expecting the bare minimum, if it was a Tubi movie, and I'm like, it's just going to be the most obvious. It's the 99%.
This is a major motion picture.
It's the 99% thing they talk about with screenwriting. Like, what would 99% of other writers do? Don't do that. Yeah. And they kind of did it. But for the climax, for the like battle,
not the whole thing.
But just for like how it ends. Like but as far as that like chunk at the end, I think they knew that would be a satisfying ending for the character based on how you meet her in the first, and like, oh, we got to have her like come back and be like, now she's the
girl boss.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you think that?
But that like, and they kept that in, totally. Whether like, no, but it's like, we're gonna have that ending no matter what happens on the island before that, even if you know, that's what you might want for her. That's what you might want for her.
Absent the fight or not, you still want her to end up there, because that's a satisfying place for it to have ended where it be.
Because it feels like a false victory. All these guys died, and now she's where she's at.
Here's a question: do you think there's a girl boss argument for this movie? Like, do you think that there are think pieces being written by women that we cannot argue with because we are men, that we can't argue with them, women, you know, can't argue with them, women. I like, you know.
Don't do it.
Yeah. Foghorn 47 is my favorite 47. Not the, I'm evil, you know. No, but like, do you think there's girl bosses that are like, oh yeah, this is great because we girl bossed. And she girl bossed. She knew what to do. She had to work twice as hard as a man. Of course, she had this advantage that we don't need to talk about. She still proved herself another way. Like, is there that argument that somebody's going to make and write a think piece on? Or someone could legitimately, you know, ascribe like, oh yeah, this is my new identity and I'm girl bossing in this way.
I mean, anyone can think anything they want, I guess.
It would be like the people who put up the Tony Montana posters in their dorm room. It's like, no, you're idolizing the wrong thing in this. Like, if you like Don Draper, you're the problem. You know, that kind of thing.
The 18-year-old boy who's just got like, he's got like 3 pubic hairs and like the thinnest mustache, and he's got like Tony. And he's like doing Scarface voice in the mirror.
Probably. I think equity is women having antiheroes and men having antiheroes. So like, I'm totally for women antiheroes who also do the murders sometimes. Like Tony Soprano, you're not supposed to like Tony. He's evil. But, you know, because the pitch for the show is we will get people to empathize with a murderer.
Do you qualify Tony Soprano as villain?
Is Tony Soprano a villain, Nick?
Well, I mean, if I define
110% by your definition.
By my definition, yeah, he would be. Like, I think your definition means that the villain has to be someone,
the antagonist,
other than the protagonist. Like, it can't be the protagonist because it has to be someone who is preventing the protagonist from a goal. I'm saying the villain.
That's antagonist.
I know. Yeah, but I'm
just
saying
an objective thing. Whereas like villainous gets into this subjective moral area where like, well, it accepts them killing some people, but not these people. And the way she killed these people, I don't like that.
But technically, she could have been turned to the antagonist because she's trying to stop Dylan O'Brien from getting home.
And he's the hero because his girlfriend got killed. His fridged girlfriend makes him the protagonist in those moments.
That's the thing.
There's also the guy. I'm sorry, I said. You're watching at this point. You're an adult. I'm sorry, and I didn't make anyone who's. Anyways, the point is like,
which guy?
Like, oh, he's the aggrieved upon guy. Like, you know, this stupid guy interpretation, and they're rooting for him. And see, this is a tragedy of like, you know, the evil women like over the man. Like, is there the? We won't say the names of people, but I know I'm looking at you right now, and we're thinking the same name of a person that's real in this life, going. Yeah, and just the evil women in the world trying to get one over on us, and they see
Yeah,
Dylan
what?
O'Brien as the protagonist, like
Well,
legitimately.
I'm sure there are people who,
Yeah,
I see that,
sure.
but like,
Yeah, and I know I called him R-worded, and I shouldn't have said R-worded. Don't cut it out. I'm sorry. You know,
You just gotta say it with the Elon accent. Some of the parties are retarded. You take out Grok and it'll do a roast of the person who's like super retarded.
the problem with that word is it's like AI. There's like emotional, there's emotional R-worded, there's intellectual R-worded, and then there's people who used to use it as a medical term, which is not what we use today at all, you know? And we use completely different medical terms. And I think all of that, like how AI, you know, isn't one thing.
Wow, should we end on the R-worded rant?
It wasn't a rant. I was just saying R-word and AI are kind of R-worded in the way they're approached in society today.
Nuance. As one would say. All right.
Make it legal again. Ha 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 ha.
Make comedy legal again. Legalize comedy.
Ha ha. Ha.
Epstein didn't want to hang out with me. I mean, Epstein could have faked those emails to fuck Elon over. I don't know. Like he was making the compromise on Bill Gates. What?
How would he affect it if it's released from the Epstein files?
Well, like maybe they.
Don't tell me who's that guy, Count Dooku? He pretended to be the bad guy so he could be a better good guy.
No. I'm saying like could in the same way that the Bill and Melinda Gates thing would just be like, well, clearly this, this suicidal pedophile made this thing up about us. But that's not what Bill and Melinda said. They said, this is a dark time in my marriage that reminds me of so many dark thoughts. I don't want to think about it. And then Lizard Bill Gates, who is totally not a supervillain, went on camera and goes, oh, I never went to the island, but I regret hanging out with him. I'm on camera saying this for some reason. I clearly created monopolies. I'm an oligarch. It's funny when he says that on camera.
but I can jump over a chair.
And get invited places.
You had one in you. And then you
I did.
Whoa. All right. Then that's a great
end of
place
this
to end it.
episode. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Thanks for joining us. Thank you for listening. For more JK Productions, find us on Instagram at JK Productions Team and on Facebook, JK Productions MN. Join us next time for another bait.